About a month ago, I made a video on some of the best delivery apps to try out in 2022, and I had a lot of fun doing this, so I wanted to try out some of these apps to see how much I can actually make, see if it's worth it, and see what the work is actually like. So I first started with some of the more popular delivery apps like DoorDash and Grubhub, but unfortunately the area that I'm living in, there's too many drivers and not enough orders. So for those two delivery apps, I'm currently on the wait list. So I went down the list of delivery apps, and the next one in line was Shipt Shopper. So for those of you who don't know, Shipt Shopper is very similar to Instacart, where you're basically just a delivery person and grocery shopper for customers. So the application process was just like any other job. It took about 30 minutes to an hour, which was a lot longer than some of the other delivery apps I signed up for. So the application process does take a little bit, but if you're patient and are willing to sit down and answer a few questions, then it's not that bad of a process. After I finished that, a few days later, I was sent the Shipt Shopper shirt and the Shipt Shopper card. So after I got sent some of the gear, I was able to log into the app and start requesting some of the shifts and marking down my availability for when I can do some of the jobs. So I set my availability for the hours after my full-time job, so from 5 to 10. And the first few days I was getting nothing at all, no orders, no notifications or anything. So I was starting to think that, no one's ordering anything, no one uses this app. And then after about 3 or 4 days, I was literally getting 10, 20, 30 orders per night. And then same thing on Saturday, I was getting about 30 orders all throughout the day because my availability on Saturday is all day. So basically my phone is blowing up with a bunch of orders that I could take at any time. So I first took an order without really looking at where it is, and I accepted the order, found out that it was like 20 miles away from my house, which would have taken about 30 minutes just to get to the person's house. So I tried to decline the order, and it said you have to talk to Shipt. And so I messaged them on chat, and they were really good about canceling the order for me. So after that, I was a little bit more careful about which orders I was accepting. I made sure that some of the orders were a little bit closer to my house. That way I'm not spending most of my time driving. So I then accepted an order that was only about 10 or 15 minutes away from my house. The store was a grocery store that I had never been to before. So when I got there, I basically just immediately started panicking. So I started searching for the items, and I was kind of going back and forth all throughout the store, and I had to ask the workers, hey, where is this item? And they would tell me, and then they would be out of the item, and so I had to text the customer and say, hey, they're actually out of this item that you wanted. Do you want to substitute for it? And they, of course, weren't very happy about it. So to be completely honest, it was really stressful, especially for someone like me, because I like to get things done really quick. So to be completely honest, it was a lot of work and pretty stressful. But like I mentioned before, I had never been to that store before, so I wasn't familiar with where things were. I wasn't familiar with the aisles and where items are. So it took me probably about 30 to even 40 minutes longer than it probably should have taken me. But I was eventually able to drop off the groceries on the customer's porch, and I ended up doing it on time. So from start to finish, it took a little bit over an hour from the time I left my house to the time I dropped off the groceries on the customer's porch. But it was my first job, and so I probably could have gotten it done a lot quicker than I actually did. I also made a video right after I dropped the groceries off on the customer's porch just to give more of an honest review. But I realized after watching it that my opinion then was a little bit different than my opinion now. It was more negative, and it was also before the tip that I got. So I became a little bit more positive after I got the tip. So about 3 or 4 hours after I did the job, the customer tipped me $10. So total from the time I started to the time I ended, I made about $28, and that was only about an hour of work. So I realized after I got the tip that you can make a pretty decent income by doing 4 or 5 jobs a day just from going grocery shopping and delivering it to customers. So like I said before, it is just like a normal job. You're communicating with the customers, it's stressful finding the items, but once you get the hang of it, I could see it being a really decent way of making good money. So I can't say personally if it's something I want to continue to do very often, but on top of my full-time job and my full-time income, I do think that this is something that's a great side hustle and a way to make an extra $100 to even $1,000 a month if I choose to do so. So I hope you guys enjoyed my full review of my Shipt Shopper experience. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them the best that I can. I hope to see more of you guys for more videos, and I hope you stick around, so I will catch you later. See ya!